Hey, what's up guys? This is Enemy Stand User. Hope you guys are doing well. And today is very exciting because we are back from our week break from JJK and we're back into the Koen games. And we have another awesome chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, chapter 162, Tokyo Colony, or Tokyo number 1 Colony part 2. And this time we get a really decent amount of info on like the flow or the state of the Koen game. At least in this colony, but I think these breaks that Gege has are really helping Gege a lot, and the more breaks he takes, the better the manga gets, and this is a really good chapter. But let's dive right into it. This chapter starts off on a really high note with Yuji fighting the other beginner hunter Haba in a really nice clash and an excellent display of how awesome Gege can make a fight. I just love how can you say it, the choreography with all the buildings and how Gege uses the environment. But in this fight, Yuji is having a little bit of a hard time getting a handle on Haba's ability to fly while fighting him, but still he has shown extreme athletic talent and has far superior in Haba in that aspect. But Yuji then notices that Haba's only method of attack is using his blades, his helicopter blades, and he seeks to exploit that as he finds cover in a nearby building. Haba then has a moment where he sees and notices Yuji's strategy and uses his ability to extend his own helicopter blades and slice through the rubble along with reinforced bars so he can actually get through it. Yuji then thinks back to that jet girl Hanyu and noticed that the cursed energy was focused more around these players' hair, and it dwindled down along their bodies of where it was reinforced. So that's why the jet girl, when she went down from that one attack, she was vulnerable when Yuji threw that rock at her. So now Yuji is literally going to take on Haba's attack head on as he proceeds to absolutely destroy Haba, busting right through his head. And now Haba is in a really bad state, and he's kind of delusional now as he's defeated, and he thinks that he won, but Yuji just kicks him away and ends their little skirmish and battle there. I do have to mention though, because Yuji took on that really intense and brunt attack with maximum input like that, he did bust up his knuckles a little bit. So that it was just a little bit, but that showed it was a really intense attack. If it did even shake up Yuji a little bit, but like I said, even like a small character like Haba, and the art and the way the fight was drawn is extremely good, and Gege is very good and always puts you right into the pages of the manga when reading. It's truly amazing. But after their clash, Amai shows up and greets Itadori saying that he knows him, but Yuji doesn't actually remember him from his past. But since Amai said Yuji's nickname, the Tiger of the West Junior High, he must know him from somehow before. We are then brought to Megumi Situation as he questions Remy if she was actually a sorcerer who was reincarnated from the past, but she's not. And Megumi then proceeds to ask why Remy is actually actively fighting and participating in this game, and she mentions an interesting point. And because she was a player and not a normal civilian who had the choice to leave, these players in the game from the get-go have been fighting for 12 whole days in this killed or beat killed situation. And Remy says, if you hesitate to search for a reason to fight, you'll be killed instead. During this process, I've seen people get high off their own power. You should stop thinking of modern and past sorcerers as two different things. So Megumi, he now is coming to understand and realize sorcerers, no matter if they're from ancient past or if they're modern sorcerers now, they're still influenced by the game and are really itching to get going and to kill. So unlike what he said to Yuji before, players now, they cannot be reasoned with. Then we kind of get to see some little back and forth moments with Yuji and Megumi's viewpoints, and Megumi has a little bit of a funny moment with Remy. They have a little bit of a dynamic going on. But on Yuji's side of things, we can see him chatting with Amai, and Amai actually stated his whole name, which was Amai Rin, and then both Yuji and Megumi ask for Higuruma's location. And in this side, on both sides of the panel, Amai and Remy tell them 2 different locations. And Amai said the Ikibe Kuro district, and Remy said the Shinjuku district. And both Yuji and Megumi believe and hope to meet up with each other. So either Remy or Amai is deceiving them, because in the following panel is an extremely suspicious man with a tattoo on his arm, sitting in a dark room covered with receipts, it looks like. And he says, "When will that child bring me my next pitiful prey?" So there is definitely some cap going on, as one of them, Remy or Amai, is deceiving one, Fushiguro or Megumi. And again, so these characters, either Amai or Remy, is a traitor working with this man, and they have ulterior motives. And I'm sure a lot of people, even myself, agree that Remy really is the prime suspect due to her really seductive and very suspicious nature. Again, I am very surprised Gege actually drew a woman like Remy with a lot of curves and a lot of voluptuous womanhood, you could say, because I can't really recall Gege making any other female character with this amount of, like, you know, fan service. So her power, or she must reflect or have some sort of power having something to do with seduction or something very influential. But Gege could very well throw a curveball in it. The traitor actually couldn't be Remy, because I think we all think it's Remy, but it could also be Amai too, because Amai is almost, as a character, he's almost too good to be true. And you really can't survive 12 days in this really horrific Culling game. We seen in chapter 160 that carnage going on with all those curses and monsters. That was pure carnage, and you cannot survive like that if you're really a character like Amai without something going on with you, especially a person like Amai, who's supposedly this weak, lackey type person or character. But one red flag about Amai's character is him appearing to Yuji in that hole on the building, and that's a very rather impractical entrance, don't you think? And I might be overthinking it, but it's just the way he approached Yuji. But there's just something about Amai's interest in Yuji, or why he wants to get to know Yuji. It's just a bit off, and it could lead to something really interesting. And plus, when you think about Remy, she did actually reveal a lot of information to us as readers and to Megumi about the state of the Culling game, and she did it honestly, from what I could tell. But I think she didn't really have to reveal that information and say all these things to Megumi or be so friendly with Megumi. But I guess that's just one point you could say in her favor. But let me know who you guys think is the traitor in the comments below. I'd like to hear that. But I'm really excited for this new character at the end, and it seems like the whole trope thing going on, the beginner hunters, and with the beginner hunters, some players are actually teaming up and working together besides the Jujutsu sorcerers. So it would really be cool to get some more info, maybe later on in some future chapters, about factions going on in the Culling games or groups in the games. But I have to say that this new character, it wasn't revealed yet, his player name or anything, but he kind of gives me different vibes, and he actually reminds me of a character from One Piece, Sanji, with his blonde hair and his goatee and him sitting there. But he's just a mirror image of Sanji to me, but that's just me. But his character, it just screams bad business, and he is extremely suspicious as he just sits in a naked room covered in what I assume to be, he's naked sitting in a dark room covered in what I assume to be receipts. Like he's obsessed with something or other, but he looks really evil, and we'll likely get to see more info next week. But I actually hope Amai is the traitor, because then we could see Yuji deal with this crazy person, because it seems like Yuji has been dealing with a lot of crazy people so far, so why not add more to that list? And then Megumi could actually meet Higuruma, because I feel that Higuruma and Megumi's their character types regarding justice, they kind of could mix things up and they kind of share that sort of link, and there could be some sort of confrontation there. And maybe, just maybe, Megumi can address Tsukimi if Tsukimi has ties with Higuruma. I think that would be extremely interesting if Tsukimi was caught up in the game with him. So far, I'm liking this back and forth between Yuji and Itadori, because we get to see how they handle certain situations as sorcerers and are different as characters. And I also just would love to actually get to break down and see a serious fight involving Fushiguro. I love to see Fushiguro getting involved, like a really proper 1v1 sorcerer battle like Yuji has been getting, because we know Megumi, he's a very strong character like Yuji in his own way and has lots of potential regarding his power, and also he gets a bit crazy from what we have seen, like a situation with the finger bear and the crazy stuff going on when he brought out Maharaga in that situation. Megumi is a very, very loose cannon despite how calm he actually is, but I really, really want to see more of him being pushed to the edge like he has been, and forced to grow as a sorcerer in fights, because me and a lot of other people think his power, the 10 Shadows technique, will have a really, really large impact on the story. It'd be really cool to see. But yeah, it's really good to see fights like we got in this chapter, and Yuji really pops off when it's time to battle. When it's time to throw hands, Yuji is always about to impress something upon you. But Gege is really good at making different fights really interesting and fun. And thank you guys for watching this video and liking, but please remember to share. Yes, share this video with friends or others so I can keep making content that you guys would enjoy. Or you could join my Discord if you are interested. And I'll also have a Twitter up soon, posting some anime, maybe some game or manga related stuff, as well as I'll have a funny animation up soon that I'm working on. But again, thank you guys for checking me out and watching. You guys be safe out there. This is Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.